Okay, I'm back. Here is Sweet Brooklyn, and she came out of the oven, and I gave her some blue shading. I did not do this wisteria blue shading. Instead, I did a little bit of very, very watered down vein blue, and I didn't do very much on her. I just didn't want a lot of dark blue shading on her. Again, every baby I do differently, just the way I do it. I can't explain it. This is thinned out just a little bit with some thinning medium, and I'm thinning it more with thinner. And I'm going to yellow up her nose. And I know you're thinking, holy moly, what the heck are you doing? That's so yellow. Well, I like to let it sit here for a minute and kind of get absorbed by the vinyl. And then I'll wipe it off. And that yellow stains nicely, I have to admit. Yellow is my friend. I'm gonna go under the eyes. Now, you know, I think some people like to have a formula. And I guess there's sort of a formula to this, but sometimes a sculpt doesn't call for it, and sometimes it doesn't call for it in the same places. You just kind of have to use your eye and your creative instinct. I know that there's, you know, a couple of people out there who are talking about how to paint babies. They claim they have like, oh, I have a paint by number system, or this is how you do it, and here's a map to where to put what. That's all well and good, and I think for people who maybe aren't naturally artists or naturally creative and just want to make a baby for the experience of making a baby, I think that's awesome. You know, that gives everybody a chance. It kind of levels the playing field a little bit. Tricks are a good thing. But if you're planning on making babies and advancing that craft and becoming really good at it and making babies that are yours, you know, your signature babies, you're gonna have to play around and not depend on that. You're gonna have to find your own way and experiment. Every really good reborn artist that I have talked to said it took them a couple of years to really find their groove. They just had to, you know, make the mistakes we all have to make. I wish there were shortcuts. I put a little on her eyes, a little on the tips of her ears, down here on her nose. That's all I think this baby needs. And I'm not gonna put any on her limbs on this baby. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give her a bright yellow wash. And it's gonna be a mix of this mustardy yellow and a little bit of this vibrant yellow. And I don't use this on every baby. I'm using it on her because I know what my vision is for her. I want her to be a little bit pale and very peachy. So I don't want to use colors that are gonna deepen her skin tone. I want colors that are gonna keep her skin tone bright and light. Again, for me, every baby's different, and I look at them and I have a different vision for them. And it's fun to see how it turns out. If I did every baby the same, it would be way too boring. All my babies have a similar look. That's because of my painting style. And that's kind of what I was talking about. You know, you have to develop your own painting style, and the only way to do it is to have fun and play. So I'm just giving her a nice yellowy wash. Not too heavy. It will, once that thinner flashes off, it's gonna be a lot less noticeable. You know, I hear people talking about, I'm an artist, I'm an artist, I'm an artist, and it's, I think everybody's an artist. We all have a little artist living inside of us. But you gotta work for that, you know? You can't walk around saying, I'm a brain surgeon, I'm a brain surgeon, I'm a brain surgeon because I watch Grey's Anatomy faithfully. This is no joke. I actually know someone who said, I think I'm going to go to medical school. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know you could just wake up and say, I'm going to medical school and just call them up and say I'm on my way, but more power to you, you know? Everybody's got to have a goal. Go for that. That's a nice goal. And I said, really? I didn't know you were interested in medicine. this person says, well, you know, I just think it's interesting that I watch these medical shows and I'm able to call it before they do. And I know exactly what to do. And I mean, I just have these great instincts. And I think that I would be a great doctor because I practically know more than they do on these shows. And I didn't know if they were being serious, so I started cracking up laughing. For real? Are you serious? Give me a break. And they're like, no, they were dead serious. And I'm like, holy Moses, I have never heard such a thing. Well, good luck to you. So that will be quite the story to tell someday. You know, I watch a lot of medical shows and I was moved, and by golly, I went back to school and I became a doctor. That is going to be an amazing story to tell the grandkids. I think that's great. But on the inside, I'm going, what the hell are you talking about? And that's kind of the feeling I get when people pick up, you know, some art supplies at the local craft store and make themselves a little space to make art and say, well, I've decided I'm going to be an artist. I'm an artist. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I like art and I like arty things, and today I've decided I'm an artist. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Good for you, because it took me a hell of a lot of time and a lot of hard work. You know, if that's the way it goes, I guess that's the way it goes. And I try to be okay with it. I'm like, you know, there's room for everybody, and not everybody becomes an artist in the same way, and don't be so defensive about that title. You know, it's no big deal. It takes nothing away from you. But at the same time, I'm grinding my teeth like, really? Really? Okay, then. I could have saved myself a hell of a lot of money and a hell of a lot of time if I'd have just, you know, watched more YouTube videos. But, you know, you never know how you'll be inspired to make decisions in your life. Who knows how that happens? But it does make me crabby, and I want to be open about that. And then I have serious art friends who have paid their dues, let me tell you. You know, they can't live without art. It's who they are, it's what they're made out of, and it's all about getting all this good, juicy, deep, dark stuff out and into the world. And you're probably thinking, why the hell do you want to do that? Why do you want to spread that? Well, it's because we all are looking for these common connections, right? I'm going down deep, and I'm creating with memory. I'm creating with pain. I'm creating with joy. I'm creating with dreams that I had. And when I bring that out and I express myself, other people find a connection there. And that's what you're looking for. You're connecting with people. Not everybody can express themselves. Not everybody can make that connection. Some people do it with music. Some people do it with poetry. Some people write books. Some people are painters. That's what it's kind of about. That's what, for me anyway, that's what art's about. It's about taking something that's deep inside of you, that's personal, that's scary, that's enchanting, and sharing it, and taking it out into the world and saying, this is how I see it. And somebody else going, oh my gosh, that's how I see it too. Thank you for doing this, or I love this, or this scares me, or I don't like it. You know, it's not always about pleasing somebody. It's not always about a great reaction and good feedback. Sometimes you want to unsettle people a little bit. You want to make them think. Or you want to allow them the opportunity to feel whatever it is they want to feel and be okay with that. I mean, there is a lot of art that disturbs me. There's a lot of art that makes me cry because it's so beautiful. I will share, and I'm sorry if this is boring for those of you who are not like big art fans, and if I'm getting too deep, I apologize. You can like mute it or fast forward. But I am a big fan of the sculptor Rodin, And I had the opportunity to go to Paris one year because my sister-in-law was running the Paris Marathon. She decided that she was ready for divorce, and they decided to move forward with that. And she told him she would feel more comfortable if he did not accompany her to Paris for the marathon. And he understood. So she called me and said, I have an extra ticket. This is my sister-in-law, who I have had kind of a very interesting, sometimes complicated relationship with. This was a great opportunity for the both of us. And at the time I was going through, you know, my own dark moment in life. My daughter had just passed away, and she thought it might be good for me to get away. And I had never left my son Noah, and at the time he was still very young. I'd never left him before. The rest of my family said, we've got him, it's gonna be okay, go, you know, this is a once in a lifetime experience, go have fun, it'll be good for you. And I really did need it, and I went, and it was one of the best times. And she really did need somebody there to be with her, because that marathon is grueling, and I was there at the end of it with her, and I was able to get her a cab, and I was able to get her back and get her iced down. And one day had a whole day to myself, and I went walking around, and I was looking for Rodin's museum, but I don't speak French. And I was able to kind of make my way there by asking for directions and stuff, and it was a fun journey. I'm a fan of Rodin, and I'm a fan of Camille Claudel, who was madly in love with Rodin. And I couldn't wait to see original sculptures. I had seen work that traveled through museums, but I had never been to the museum in Paris. And I found my way, and it was this old house with a beautiful garden. And I wasn't expecting that. It was very intimate. I can't explain it. It wasn't like a stuffy museum. Everything was just right there, and you could walk through the garden, and oh, it was beautiful. And I found the sculpture that I was looking for, and Camille Claudel had sculpted this of Rodin's head, and I could feel all of her love for him in it. It was beautiful, and I stood there. Tears just rolled down my face. I was in awe. I was moved. I just felt every ounce of her passion for him. You know, she knew his face with her hands and her memory and her heart. And she sculpted, and I could feel all that love. It was beautiful, just beautiful. And that's what I mean when I talk about expressing all the stuff inside and bringing it out with art. Now, you know, again, like I said, I do have some serious art friends who can't quite figure out what the hell I am doing painting vinyl babies in my studio. You know, I have a lot of art in me that I still want to make, and a lot of goals that I want to achieve. And, you know, it's not like I'm young and I have the next 50 years to do it. So they're like, what are you doing? What is this detour? Move on, get past that. But I think everything is for a reason. And right now I'm doing this for a reason. I can't explain it. I just know it's the right thing at the right time. And it's bringing me joy, and it's connecting me with people. And I'm happy. And so, like I said, you know, there are just different levels and different phases and stages of being an artist. And it's okay to just like crafts, and it's okay to just be someone who loves art. You don't have to be an artist to love art. Now, I like to do colors a little bit dark back here on the neck, because that's where a lot of shadow is. I did put a little tiny bit of blue in his mouth, just for depth. And I will finish up veining this baby, get these other babies, their blue wash on, bake my yellow guys, and I'll be back. Maybe we'll do some red modeling next. See you in a minute.